Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Drew Jets Show, and it is that time of year when NFL teams have to slim down the rosters from 80 players to 53. So today I'm going to be predicting the Jets' 53-man roster. Wish me luck. So starting off on the offensive side of things, I have three quarterbacks making it on the roster: Zach Wilson, Joe Flacco, and drumroll please, Mike White. I really wanted to put Chris Streveler on the roster, but you got to realize this is a dude who probably wouldn't have gotten any team reps if Zach Wilson didn't get hurt. He had a fantastic preseason, the unanimous preseason MVP if that was a thing, but he's just that bounce around the NFL type of player. If he's not picked up, which I don't think he is, would love to have him on the practice squad. And I do also want to say, once Zach Wilson's healthy, I do think the New York Jets cut Mike White and get rid of that third quarterback on the roster. At running back, I have three making it: Breece Hall, Michael Carter, and Tevin Coleman. The Jets have already cut LaMichael Pirine, and I feel like the running backs that made it are pretty self-explanatory. We have everything we need in a running back room with these three. At fullback, I have Nick Baldwin making it. Some people have cut Baldwin and put Wesco in this type of fullback role, but Baldwin was much better than Wesco last year as the Jets fullback, so I think he earns the roster spot. At wide receiver, I have six making it: Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, Jeff Smith, and Denzel Mims. Mims might get traded. Calvin Jackson's already been cut, so I honestly feel like the Jets could pass by with five receivers. I mean, once again, we have everything we need in a wide receiver room with these six guys, and honestly even five. But if Denzel Mims is traded, I have a guy I want the New York Jets to replace him with, but I will be making a video on that shortly after this one. At tight end, I have four making it: CJ Uzomah, Tyler Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, and Lawrence Cager. Now, some people put Wesco instead of Cager, but look, what is Wesco going to do for the Jets that he hasn't already done? He's not really that good of a fullback. He can't really catch. He's an alright blocker. I mean, what is Wesco going to do? I mean, at least Cager has some upside that he could be a pretty solid receiving option. I mean, the New York Jets have three really good blocking tight ends in Uzomah, Conklin, and Ruckert. Sure, Cager probably isn't the best blocker. Wesco's probably better at blocking than him, but there's three guys ahead of him on the depth chart. So I really don't think we need four tight ends who are good at blocking, because on top of that, we have five offensive linemen that are going to be on the field at one time. And who are the offensive linemen I have making the roster? Of course, the starting five, and the backups are Dan Feeney, Max Mitchell, and Nate Herbig. Chuma Edoga's probably going to get traded. Connor McDermott's honestly not that good as a backup tackle, and the New York Jets have a lot of faith in Max Mitchell. I know he was probably going to be this developmental player this year, but because of injuries, I feel like he's going to be thrust into the starting backup role, and if one of our players gets hurt, I guess we're going to see what we have at him. Now onto the defensive side of things. I have 10 defensive linemen making the roster: Quentin Williams, Sheldon Rankin, Solomon Thomas, and Jonathan Marshall as our interior guys. Some people have Shepard making it over Marshall, but I mean, I feel like Marshall has a lot more upside than Shepard. I mean, once again, Shepard's in the same situation as Wesco. In the 4 years he's been with the Jets, what has he shown that gives us a reason to keep him on the roster? At least Marshall has upside and actually had a pretty good offseason. The six edge rushers I have making the roster are Carl Lawson, John Franklin Myers, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, Jacob Martin, and Bryce Huff. I think that group's pretty self-explanatory as well. At linebacker, I have four making it: CJ Mosley, Quan Alexander, Quincy Williams, and Jamie Sherwood. I was cutting Nazardine. I mean, last season this dude got completely removed off the defense. He started off the season as a starter. Week 18, he was playing only special teams, and he's not really that amazing of a special teamer either. And then in preseason, he didn't look good as a linebacker. I think the New York Jets should just move on from him. If he gets on the practice squad, great, but if he gets another team, great. But I feel like the New York Jets should just move on from Nazardine. And I really like what we saw in Sherwood in the preseason as well. And we don't actually know what we have in Sherwood. I mean, this dude tore his Achilles last season, so he's still a question mark. And because of the solid preseason performance by him, and with the addition of Quan Alexander, I feel really excited about this linebacker room, and it might actually be better than we think. At cornerback, I have six making it: Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed, Michael Carter, Bryce Hall, Brandon Eccles, and Javelin Guidry. I think that group is pretty self-explanatory. And then at safety, I have Jordan Whitehead, LaMarcus Joyner, Jason Pinnock, and drumroll please, Will Parks. Now, a lot of people like Ashton Davis. He was a 3rd-round pick from 2020, but in the 2 years he's been in the NFL so far, he honestly hasn't been really good, and he can't tackle. Safeties need to tackle. The New York Jets could have saved like 5 touchdowns last season if Ashton Davis could tackle. This preseason, he had like a lot of missed tackles. I counted like 2 in yesterday's game. I mean, he just can't tackle. And that's why I have us cutting him. I mean, Will Parks had like 0 missed tackles in the preseason, and this dude can hit. He's just a really good tackler and also a well-respected veteran that is also pretty good on special teams too. So those are the 4 safeties I have making the roster. And the 4 special teamers I have making the roster are Brandon Mann, Greg Zuerlein, Justin Hardy, and Thomas Hennessy. I think that group is pretty self-explanatory. Some people have us cutting Justin Hardy, but I mean, he's a really good special teamer. Sure, he doesn't really play much defense, but do we really need Justin Hardy to play defense? Not really. But those are the 53 players I have making the Jets roster. What changes would you make? And I'm your host, Stuart, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.